Hurry up for Halloween, 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 hurry up for Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Hi there, Terence McGuana here, and tonight I'm joined by the one and only BAQ, Basic Autumnween Queen. Hi, Basic Autumnween Queen. How are you? How are you this evening?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm terrific as always. And tonight we're going to talk about horror films, right? What better topic can you have on a Wednesday night, right?
Right.
So let me kick it off, right, and get into my questions here. Did I send this, or I'll just muck this up, didn't I? Go on. Yeah, I've got a list of questions here. Yeah, hold on. Right. So, the world's slowest laptop known to man. Yeah, this is a tough one, actually. BAQ. What is it that you love about horror movies?
What is it that I love about horror movies? Well, I
Yeah.
like it because it's horror movies. They they start out really like they have like this storyline, and you know it's a horror movie. You know you're gonna have some jumps, some scares. You're gonna have whatever, but a good horror movie, you're gonna go through the storyline, and it builds you up. So I like the way it builds you up, and then give you and at that moment it just takes you there. So I like that. I really do like that.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I like the. Do you know what? You're probably going to laugh, right? But what I like about horror movies is they are true to life. That's the cynical side of
Yeah,
me.
that's
That
true.
they're
That is
true to
true.
life because I really am not that enamored by superheroes, right? Because all right, I do believe there are heroes out there, right? I have many of them, right? And but superheroes don't exist. Horror characters, oh, they exist, right? I mean,
Right.
Michael Myers didn't. He's not. He was not created in a vacuum, right? There's some truth to that character. There's some truth to Leatherface and Norman Bates, right? You find a lot of these characters are based on factual people. And one in particular, being Scottish, is The Hills Have Eyes. Have you seen The Hills Have Eyes?
Yes.
Any version? Well, Wes Craven, he based The Hills Have Eyes on a Scottish legend called Sawney Bean, who was I don't know which century he existed in or whether he existed for real, but he would basically rob people and cannibalize them, right? And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the mythical legends as well, and also true life, true crime influence horror films. I find there's a lot of truth in horror films, and that's what I look for. Weirdly, uh, but is there anything more you would like to elaborate on that?
About the horror, like wildlife horror. Well, like you said, it does have some. I think they do have some truth to it. Um, Horror just takes me. You know, I like horror films because for some reason horror films just take me to a place that regular movies doesn't. You get what I'm saying? It,
Yeah,
it's like it's like they it, it it like rushes your adrenaline. It gives you a big adrenaline rush because you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
yeah,
Where's this person? Where's that person? Like, let me tell you something. It's one movie. I don't consider it horror, but The Omen. It's
right.
you know what I'm saying? Damien,
Yeah,
The Omen. And it's not because the movie was scary. It's the music. That music, that chanting, and all. It's like it builds you up. It's like, oh my god, like you know something is coming, and then when it happens, you're like, you're like taking a deep breath, and then you let out. So that's why I like it.
yeah. Also, I think the reason why horror is so popular is one thing that everyone in the world has in common is we're all scared. We're all scared, right? We
Yeah.
can all we can. I don't care if you're Mike Tyson. I don't care if you're whoever. Everyone is scared to an extent of something. So
Yeah.
there's a to be in that theater and watching a terrific horror film with this audience and they're all feeling chilled at the same time. There's something quite uh, there's a certain community feeling
Yeah.
with the audience. I love that. I love that. Same with a comedy, I suppose. But comedy, I suppose comedy and horror are subjective. That you might not be scared of spiders. I'm terrified of spiders. You might not find that joke funny. I find that joke hilarious.
Right.
But there are certain moments where everybody can come together, right, and all feel scared and all laugh, regardless of their political background or their ethnicity or their whatever country they're from. And I love that. And
Yeah.
it's quite unique with horror, I find. And it's funny, I've got two people in the chat. Hi, Curly Girl. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for showing up. So we're just having a goofy chat about horror movies. And let me move on to the next question, right? That was just the sort of wee
Hey, Chris,
ice,
you're at the movies. How are you?
the wee icebreaker there, so to
Yeah.
speak. Excuse me. Why do you feel Halloween is the best time of the year, BAQ?
Okay, the reason why I feel like Halloween is the best time of the year is because it's 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 in it's in autumn, right? I love autumn. I love fall. To me, that's the best season. It's not
Yeah.
hot, it's not cold. It's just the best. You can dress up, you can look cute. You can just it's just you got so much to do in autumn than you have to do in winter. Summer is too hot for me. I hate summer. I told you that. Spring is okay, but it rains a lot. Autumn, and by me being a New Yorker, when I look around outside and the way New York looks in autumn is beautiful. The only
Right.
place that tops New York in autumn is like Vermont or say Massachusetts, Boston and stuff like that because they have like that full out beautiful color.
Right.
And the activities that I can do in New York, it's just because growing up, my mom used to always buy me these costumes, and we used to always go trick or treating. And you can smell that air. It's like something in the air that smells. It got this smell to it. It's like, okay, we're in autumn, and
Yeah.
everybody's vibe is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, one place I would love to visit in autumn would be Transylvania in Romania. I think that would be
Yeah.
sweet. But I don't know. I don't know what the climate's like there. But I actually know a guy from Romania who'd been to Transylvania many times. I used to always tease him all the time because he sounded like Dracula. He was Dracula. He sounded like Dracula, but he swore like a sailor. She's
See,
like,
that would
I
have out.
it's like I got fucking ripped off today. I went to my fucking work and it was just fucking disgusting, right? I can't really do his accent anymore, but I used to impersonate him all the time.
Yeah.
And weirdly, he works in special effects now. He's working on the new Dune movie, doing CGI special effects.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing all right for himself. And he was an illegal immigrant at one point in this country, working every single day and sending all of his money back to Romania. When at the point where Romanians weren't part of the EU and all this nonsense. But yeah, let's have a wee look at the chat. But I'm before I do so, I'm absolutely 100% with you. Autumn is my favorite month. I love the autumn, just scenery. I love it when the leaves start falling,
Yeah.
and it just Halloween, obviously. That just there's a certain smell in the air that I
Yep.
love, right? And
I'm
it's not
definitely
too.
I'm definitely a whore for Halloween. I'm a Halloween whore. Let me tell you. I'm a Halloween whore. I do a lot.
the
I don't turn any tricks, but hey.
but plenty of treats.
Right?
Yeah. Uh, Brilliant. No, I fully agree with you. There's certain things about horror films that make me think of Halloween, not just because they're set there like Halloween the movie, but just they have this look about them. Good ones anyway,
Yeah.
and I love it. It is such a beautiful time of the year. But let's have a
Yeah.
wee look at the chat here, see if we've got any questions here. Someone's Doctor Impossible of Counterpunch 1984. You can tell I'm not drinking when I say that. Jerry Goldsmith's score in all three Omen films are remarkable. Omen 3 was mostly filmed in Cornwall. Yeah. Omen 3 is a bit of a mixed bag for me. I mean, it's okay, but it was kind of nice to see Damien as a grown up, and he would obviously have
Yeah.
he would have a position in power, wouldn't he? right? But
Yeah.
hi, Patty. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. Retro Hawk,
Hello,
really nice to
Sarah.
see you,
How are
brother.
you? Hello, Retro Hawk. Hey, Patty. Hello,
Yeah,
Echo.
I've
Hey, Black
also.
Network. Thank you. Thank you for saying I have a beautiful smile. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, that's yeah. He scored tonight. The what was going to say as well. I've left BAQ, Basic Autumnween Queen's link at the top of the chat there. If you want to connect with her, I'm just checking, make sure it's there. Yeah, I've pinned it to the top there, so feel free to connect with her, and she'll get right back to you as well. Okay. But let's move on with the chat and stop getting sycophantic about autumn as much as I would. Right. So I'm going to skip to this question, right? Because I think this is what we really bonded on. Actually, I know that Blackula, right, is one of
Yeah.
your favorite movies of all time. What makes it so special to you?
Okay, so what makes Blackula so special is that, I mean, he was just a cool ass black vampire. You didn't see that a lot. You didn't see it in black vampires. So when William Marshall, Mawaldi, when he was, he's a prince, and the guy made him into Blackula. It's like he had this swag about him. He was just like, it was just, oh,
Yeah.
there's never gonna be a black vampire like him. Like his whole attitude, his character. I just hated that extra hair they put on his face because they could have did something better with that.
Yeah.
Right, the hair and up there. But he was just a smooth black Jack vampire, excuse
Yeah.
me, that I adored. I was like, okay. And then my mother used to always oh my God, he's so handsome. Like, okay, ma, but
Oh, I have done some research into William Marshall as well, and he was a really incredible singer. There's an episode of Bonanza that he appeared in where he sings in it. You can see it on YouTube, and man, his voice was just mind blowing. Really good
hmm
talent, really incredible singer. But yeah, I'm with you. See, as a vampire film, I think he's the most romantic vampire character ever, right? And I know
yeah, and
that.
I like how he was always chasing after on his channel. His name is Terrence McGuana. Yeah, I
How you
yeah,
doing?
that's my husband. I'm sorry. Yeah, his name is Terrence McGuana. He's on my basic
She's my
animal.
wife now.
No, I'm his wife now.
Yes. Polygamy is legal in Scotland. You do know that? No.
He's laughing. But yeah, but Blackula, not just him as a vampire, the whole scene. You know what I'm saying? Like the women with their hair, their natural hair, a lot of
Beautiful.
beautiful, handsome guys. It was just a really cool movie for that time.
Yeah, yeah. When I revisited it a couple of years ago, I hadn't seen it since I was like 8 years old. But when I revisited it, I was sort of bracing myself to go, "Oh, this is." I think it's the title that put me off, right?
Yeah,
Right? Because when you compare it to Blackenstein, right, right, it is night and day, right? That movie is pretty trash, right? But
you
Blackula
can't
is
compare Blackenstein to Blackula. Like Blackenstein
no,
was
you can't. They're worlds apart. Oh, hi, B Movie Badness. Hi, Nye. Thanks for coming.
hey
And
guys, how are you?
old as F reviewers, thank you for coming. Black Money Core, thank you for coming. Uh, but yeah, they are totally worlds apart. Those two films really are, and it's. I've watched so many interviews with William Crane, the director, and he put so much effort into that. He really fought for it because the studio, I think it was AIP that made Blackula, they were not interested in making this film about an African prince whatsoever. They just
Right.
they just wanted to capitalize on the trend of the black cinema at the time,
Yeah.
Shaft, Superfly, and stuff like that. And he really fought for it. He really fought for the ending as well. He talked about that the ending to Blackula, he really fought to have that ending. And William Marshall was with him the whole way. They were so in tune with each other as a creative force in getting that film made the way that we enjoy it now, right? and it really deserves to be put up there as a landmark, as a cultural landmark.
Yeah, it should.
You know,
Yeah. But you
absolutely.
know
And then
what I don't like about a lot of black cinema, like black horror films, but they didn't take care of the movies. They didn't take care of it because look at Abby. You know, Abby was another to me another great horror film about a black woman who became possessed, and he was in that movie as well. And what I didn't like was, um, that other, what's that other one? What's it called? The one, The Exorcist.
right,
They sued the company because they said that it was trying to be like them, but it had nothing
right,
of the same as that movie. So it just like they was coming after them for no reason. But I just love those movies. But now you can't even get a good copy because the DVD or the tape is not taken care of. They just let it
yeah,
go. They didn't remaster it or anything, and that's what I think pisses me off. Why don't you remaster these things? You know,
yeah.
instead of remaking them, remaster them, like make them look clean because they are classic
Mhm.
movies. Those are gems.
Yeah, really, they are. And considering the budgets are minuscule in comparison to the contemporary films. The ones some films that were absolutely flopping in the 70s, right?
Yeah,
The budget to Blackula is minuscule, and I know it has some of the special effects aren't very good. Some of the makeup's a bit shoddy, but they put so much effort into it. Real filmmaking, real passion for cinema. And it's a shame
yeah,
that William Crane, and that's the thing, his career faltered after that. He became a prolific television director, and he talked about this in the interview that I watched, where he clearly was a victim of racism when he was trying to get work. Even though he had this box office hit, Blackula was a massive success in
yeah. It
1972.
was. It
Really
was.
was, right? It was a big
Yeah,
hit movie, and he could not get a decent job after that, which is just shameful. Because when you get down to it, when you find out how that film was made, he was he was the guy that got it that way, right?
yeah,
It would have been he stopped it from becoming like Blackenstein, because they would have been happy. They don't care as long as it comes under budget, it's got enough sex and violence in it. That's all they
yeah,
care about, right?
yeah.
And no, it's a brilliant film. I absolutely love it. It melts my heart every time I watch it as well. And
Hold on
but
one
what
second. I gotta say hello to this person because she's very dear to and near to my heart. I love her to death. The housewife. Hello, my love. She supports me in everything that I do. I love her.
oh
We've known each other for so long, and I absolutely love her. What's up, girl? Her
oh
name is Kim. Hi, mwah, I love you. Thank you for coming. She always support me for everything, everything.
excellent. Yeah, thank you for coming, this housewife. That's really nice of you to show up. And welcome to the channel. And any questions you want to ask about horror
Um,
movies or
she got
anything?
to be emotional.
Oh,
But
oh,
yeah,
that's
she always
nice.
fought for me. She really does. Always. And I love her for that.
Oh,
Love her.
that's really
Yeah.
nice. So we've got any more questions? Hold on, I think there's more coming up here.
Yeah.
Doctor Impossible is usually quite good with questions. Just thinking about a famous Dylan Thomas novel called Doctor and the Devils, which was turned into a film with Timothy Dalton from
Hmm.
1985, based on the real story of Dr. Knox, a Scot doctor. Yeah, I remember that one coming out on VHS back in the 80s. Still haven't seen it. I don't recall it got really good reviews, but that doesn't phase me because you seen that one, BAQ, The Doctor and the Devils, Timothy Dalton. I think it's one of these.
No.
I think it's based on. It's like the Burke and Hare story. I think it's similar to that, like grave robbers, and
Oh,
they're getting bodies for doctors to do, to experiment on, but they're actually killing people,
mhm.
like Burke and Hare, who were these legendary murderers in Edinburgh back in the Victorian age. They made a movie about them as well with was it Simon Pegg? I think it was Simon Pegg that was in it. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, JD's Revenge. Do you remember that one? Haven't seen it for a few years.
Yeah, I did a review on that one. I watched that a couple of days ago and I did a review on it. I love JD's Revenge. Oh my God, it was. You haven't watched it yet, huh? You gotta watch
I,
it.
I, I just think, I mean, I've not seen enough of this. I've not seen enough of the horror films from that soul cinema era. Like you mentioned, Abby. I've yet to watch Abby. I've yet to see Sugar Hill. And
Oh,
but hey, I'm catching up. I've got Blackenstein under my belt.
but listen. You gotta skip Blackenstein and get to the rest.
Oh,
Skip Blackenstein
honestly,
for now.
I was having a great time with Blackenstein. It's really funny, and it's not intended to be funny. You can tell it's like,
Yeah,
uh,
but they could have did better. If he had a square head with an afro, it's like, come on, like,
yeah, he had that whole house party thing going way back in
right,
the
right.
'70s, didn't he? Right?
Okay, I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to like this movie, but like, it's more comical than anything.
He was a
But
style pioneer.
I appreciate them trying. I appreciate them trying.
Mm,
Yeah, Sugar
yeah.
Hill is nice. You would enjoy Sugar Hill. You really would. And
Mm,
JD's Revenge, you would enjoy as well because Glenn Turman, he's in there. I guess it's like one of his like first kind of roles with his skinny self. And the way he's acting, oh my God. He is hilarious, but he is playing it really well. That's
right.
an awesome guy right there. I love me some Glenn Turman. Oh my gosh. He can act.
Before we move on from this subject, right? I've got something really cool to tell you. There's this woman, Penoir. Penoir is her name. She's an actor. Her daughter was an actor as well, who passed away when she was quite young. You'll recognise the daughter. I can't remember her name just now. And she was married to one of my heroes, D.T. Thomas from Cool and the Gang. And
Mm-hmm.
I let her see one of my Blackula videos, and she really liked it. And she got back to me and said that when she first, she's an actor, right? And when she first moved to Los Angeles in the '70s, the person that showed her around Los Angeles was Vanetta McGee, Luva from
Mm-hmm.
Blackula. And
Yeah.
she said she was a brilliant person. She said she was a really lovely, lovely woman. So I just thought I'd leave it on that one. I mean,
Oh,
unless
that's
you
kind of cool.
it is. It's really nice, isn't it? There, it really melted my heart getting told that. And but what is your opinion on remakes, reboots of classic horror movies and franchises?
Okay. I'm gonna keep it 100% real because I can't tell a lie. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't mind. Okay, I'm lying. I do mind remakes and reboots. I do because I feel like some movies should remain a classic. Some movies don't need a part two. You know, I feel like they drag it. If you got a movie and it's done great, and you test the waters for part two, if it does good but not as great as the first one, that's your cue to stop. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Now,
right.
it's getting to the point where they remaking everything, and I think they're doing that because it's a remake for the newer generation. I'm
Yeah.
like, the hell with the newer generation. Let them see what we saw. They need the real deal because the remake is not going to give you the same feeling as the first copy. You can't duplicate the copy again. It's never going to be the same, you know. And when you go off of that, it's like it does something to me. It's like it pisses me off. I'm like, okay, y'all do this, and it's still not as good. I'm very harsh when it comes to reboots and remakes and franchises. I'm very harsh just like with Scream, I know people are gonna kill me for saying this, but Scream has to stop at a point. It has to stop.
Yeah.
And I hope that it stops now because Sydney is not gonna be in six. So I hope it stops there. It could have stopped at three if they wanted to, but Scream has to stop at some point.
Yeah.
Just like with Nightmare on Elm Street. It has to
Oof.
stop at some point.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up Nightmare on Elm Street because I just recently saw the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which I'd avoided for a long time. But one of my subscribers has asked me to review it, so I'm really nervous about talking about it because it was like wallpaper to me. Nightmare on Elm Street is an absolute classic in my eyes. It blew my mind as a child, right? And this movie is like a weak imitation. It's like a tribute act. You go to see a you know a Rolling Stones tribute act, right? I don't know why I thought of them. Not my favorite band in the world, right? But they're playing all the songs. They're all in tune. They're doing it pretty much by the numbers, but it's missing it. It's just
Yeah,
missing that ingredient, and that's what I
yeah,
felt about this. It was just it was lifeless. It felt also lifeless to me. Where Nightmare on Elm
yeah,
Street, from the opening scene in Nightmare on Elm Street, where you see Freddy putting on his glove for the first time, I was just drawn right into that. And
yeah,
this movie, that sequence in the original where Nancy's lying in bed and the crucifix is above her on the wall. And I haven't watched this movie in 20 years, but it's right
yeah,
there, right? And the crucifix is above the wall and he comes pressing through the wall, right? And
yeah,
we haven't seen Freddy Krueger at this point. We haven't even seen what this character looks like facially or what have you, but you see him coming through the wall and then going
yeah,
back again. That was recreated in this movie and it was lifeless. It was done with CGI and it had a camera move when they did
yeah,
it, and it was just so lifeless. I couldn't believe how could they get it wrong. And
yeah,
one of the things that annoyed me as well is that Freddy Krueger is a character that kind of developed as the series went on. He started off, you very rarely saw him in the very first movie, right? He
yeah,
appeared occasionally throughout the film, but then as the movies went on, he became a cartoon character. He became this camp, silly character. So to try and reset it and go back to him being a frightening character, I think
yeah.
that's a tough pill to swallow
It
for
is
people.
because Freddy Krueger, I can say, out of all the characters, he's the most aggravating asshole. That he just really gets on my nerve. He's really aggravated at some point. And I like the Nightmare on Elm Street. I like part one and part two. I could care less about part three and the rest of those. I'm sorry. I'm just,
No, you're fine.
but it's just it's like as they show him more, he became more comical, and I just didn't like that.
Yeah, he had that kind of like James Bond element that whenever he killed someone, he had a sort of sly quip. Sorry, kid, I don't believe in fairy tales. Get the fucking bourbon, bitch. He always had these wee sort of like stupid things that he would say that just kill the horror element straight away because you're not supposed to be on this guy's side laughing along with him. That's just dumb. It kind of, but I just found them so entertaining. They were like comedy horrors eventually, especially like you said with three. I love three, right? But I totally get your point there. The first two were proper horror films,
Right.
and then
Exactly.
they went right off the rails. Um, so let's see what the chat's got to say. Yeah, this housewife's got a. That was why I was smiling earlier on, right? She says, "Is Petey Wheatstraw the devil's son-in-law considered a horror or just a comedy?" I know that's Rudy Ray Moore in it. Dolomite. Dolomite's my
Oh,
name.
say more. Oh, let's see. He could be no wrong in my eyes.
No, me neither. My favorite is the Human Tornado. The Human Tornado. That's just a fantastic comedy film,
I
right?
would say Petey Wheatstraw. I would say it's a mix of both horror and comedy, right?
I've not seen Petey Wheatstraw, but I know it's him, and he's just
I would say it's a mix.
hilarious.
It's a mix. I would say it's a mix of both. It's just that when you hear Rudy Ray Moore, you instantly laugh. It's like I can't
Oh,
take it seriously.
yeah. I like the Eddie Murphy. What one? Dolomite's my name.
Yeah. Oh,
Did you see it? I think that the bit that killed me the most was where they're shooting the scene where he's beating the guys up at the car and all of that, and he looks over to Wesley Snipes, who's playing the director, and he's like, "Should we do it again?" And he's like, "It's perfect.
yeah.
It was
That was a
wonderful.
good
It was
attempt.
wonderful."
I would say Eddie Murphy doing Rudy Ray Moore. I would say that was a good attempt.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It
was
was
good.
Eddie Murphy, but it was more. He was playing Eddie Murphy more than he was playing Rudy Ray Moore.
Right.
But so what? I enjoyed it, and
Yeah,
it
I did
was.
too. I enjoyed it. But nobody could be Rudy Ray Moore. He's Rudy Ray Moore. Nobody could be him.
Yeah, yeah. He's a legend. Absolutely. I remember the first time I saw Dolomite. It was about 20 years ago. I got it on cassette, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching. I really couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Just with the way the fights in the boom mic. I don't know how many times the boom mic
Yeah.
appears in the top of the screen. It was brilliant.
Let's say so many mistakes were made back then. So
Oh,
many. You know what?
yeah.
That's what made it the movie, though. That's what made it the movie.
Oh, yeah. The
She
boom
said you
mic
got.
is like,
She said you got to see Petey Wheatstraw. She said you got to see it. So
oh,
put that on the
it's
list.
going on definitely. Right. So what is it saying? Don't go and see Doctor Impossible. Says don't go see Firestarter. It's virtually a remake, shot for shot, of the 1984 Universal original. Then they
I,
have the horrific 1998 remake of Psycho, directed by Gus Van Sant. Not. It
he's
was.
absolutely right. The remake of Firestarter. My husband liked it, but to me is Firestarter was never my favorite movie anyway. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I was never really that interested in the original in the first place, to be honest. I do understand that John Carpenter did the score to the new one. Is that right?
John Carpenter.
Well, I think Rainbow Fright had mentioned it quite recently on something. Yeah, I think it was on Spirits and Screams. She was talking about it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I watch too much YouTube. Oh goodness, there we go. Bot thing.
Yeah,
Right.
because I'm like, what the heck is this going on?
Yeah, let's see what else we've got to say here. What would you say out of the Universal horror icons is your favourite and why?
Oh God, that's so hard.
I know. I'm king of the toughies. Gives me a chance
Oh,
to get.
uh, okay. Bye, Kim. She says 5 p.m. in her world, so she got to go start cooking dinner. But she really
Oh,
enjoyed us. See you next time. Mwah, I love you.
oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
brilliant. Take it
Yeah,
she
she's
must be over. She must be over on the East Coast, California.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
All the leaves are brown and the
Oh,
sky is grey. I went for a walk on a winter's day. Sorry. Hey, where were we? Universal. Shall I go first?
oh my God, I can't believe you threw this question at me because even though I knew it was coming, but yeah. Universal icon. Oh my God. Hmm. I want to say this person I consider an icon because he doesn't get talked about enough. I'm going to say the Terrifier, Art the Clown.
Art the Clown.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I still haven't seen that one.
We know we got Jason in the bag. We know we got Michael Myers in the bag. Those are a given. But if you really think about it, and if you really watch, those of you who are into slasher films, if you went and watched Art the Clown, his character is just, he should have been talked about more. He should have been out there more. And to me, he's iconic.
Right. See,
To me,
I've still not seen Terrifier, so but I know that's getting a sequel. Maybe that will be the push that this character needs to make him a proper icon like Candyman or Michael Myers or something like that. But
because we have those. We have Candyman. We have Michael Myers. We have Jason Voorhees. We have these people, Art. Nobody talks about him, but he's a badass.
well, you've got Curly Girl's attention there. Art the Clown is cool. Uh, Doctor Impossible, still like Frankenstein meets Wolfman, but I'll settle for the Empire Strikes Back of Universal Horror, The Bride of Frankenstein, Stone Cold classic. Yeah, sure. There's a scene in Bride of Frankenstein that I just find so hilarious, and it's where the Frankenstein's monster meets the bride for the first time, and he's doing this kind of he's like talking to her, he's like that is just comedy gold for me. Right? You know the bit? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible. See, one I would like to add is the creature. I love the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh
I mean,
yes.
I mean, I had this discussion with Curly Girl a while back about, you know, in a lot of these horror films, when there's these sea creatures or aliens for that matter, they tend to want to impregnate people, right? They all tend to want to they all want to steal our women or steal our men. And I think he was the guy. He was the first one, the creature. You know, he was a horny old toad under
Well,
the water, like.
that's like the humanoids from the deep. Because they were
Oh.
stealing the women and they was having sex with them and impregnating them as well.
Mm,
Humanoids from the
I
deep.
know,
That's a good old classic one.
right? Oh dear. I know, what is that? It's like, oh, there's a sea monster. Let's have sex with it. Brrr. You know?
Or what kind? Listen, we all adults here, but what type of penis does the sea monster have, and who wants that on top of them going? It's just nasty. It just gives me a nasty vision in my mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I love the creature. He's one of my all-time favorites. And then I know he got kind of a reboot with the sea. What was that? Oh, what was that called? Something water? Shape of Water?
Oh
Yeah.
God, that movie creeped me out. I was like, what in the hell am I watching here? I couldn't even finish it. I was like,
No? Yeah, I'm not too sure. But the original Creature from the Black Lagoon and Revenge of the Creature, and what was the one that came after it? There's a third one where he gets like plastic surgery to make him look more like a human being. That's a good one as well. There's like a trilogy of them, and they're all excellent. They really are. I didn't expect that, but yeah, I love the original. 1950s one is lovely. The only thing I would say that kind of lets it down is its score. Its score is kind of annoying, but just the costume is
yeah.
iconic. Just so iconic. I love the creature, and I just right. We'll see if we've got any more here. What's that?
Hi,
Universal pushed the
Paige. How
envelope.
are you?
Universal pushed the envelope with the 1950s sci-fi horror. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, just legendary. And Curly Girl says, yeah, I'm the shape of water. In the shape of water, the girl definitely wanted some sea creature. D, okay. She liked that girl man loving, you know. I know that it was kind of. I mean, it's weird. The movie wins Oscars, right? And it's yeah, that was just a bit strange. I don't know. I'm with you. I wasn't that keen on it either. I love Guillermo del Toro, but I think he was kind of. He was really pandering to the Oscars. They love the Oscar voters. They love movies where it's about the love of Hollywood. Isn't Hollywood, the old Hollywood, beautiful and all that? And
Yeah.
I think the movie really pandered to that. You know, I think he was really aiming to get that Oscar, which he deserves because he's a brilliant director, right? He's one of the true original visionaries out there, and the guy should have got Oscars a long time ago. Uh, but what sort of horror films are you most drawn to, and why? Would you say, is there a particular genre or subgenre of horror that you prefer the most?
Oh, I'm not gonna say I prefer any. Let's see. Um, I mean, I can. Oh, okay. I'm lying. Zombies. I can't stand zombies. I can't. I just don't like. I just don't like zombies. It just every time I see a movie with a zombie in it, it just makes my whole mood change. I catch an attitude.
Yeah, you still like the classics though. Night of the Living Dead. I noticed you were quite,
Well,
no?
that I can tolerate because they didn't look like the zombie. They didn't look like zombie-ish. You know what I'm saying? They look like
All right.
regular people. But when as the years got old, went on, they started making these zombies with their guts hanging out, and it's just like go
Yeah.
back to the Living Dead one. They didn't look really like like zombies. That's the only movie I can tolerate is the old Night of the Living Dead. Anything else,
Yeah.
I don't want to be bothered. So I don't like zombies.
Right. Yeah, they do tend to repeat themselves. And there was a whole stream of them about 10, 15 years ago where it was
Um,
just another zombie film after another. and it gets really it is a subgenre that is yeah, it's been really beaten over. Yeah, it's been sort of dragged to death. To be honest, it's hard to put any words. But I mean, I like the classics. I think George Romero, he he wrote the book on them, the modern zombie films, right? Not the old ones like I Walked with a Zombie or something like that, or White Zombie. But Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, those three in particular, I love. But outside of that, yeah, they're really struggling. I like some of the comedies. Return of the Living Dead from 1985. That is brilliant. It's just hilarious, that film. But other than those, yeah, I could just not care less. But for me, I don't know, subgenre. I love a good ghost story. I love a good
Yeah.
ghost story. You know, that just I like ghost stories because I watched a really good one recently. It's on YouTube called The Ghost or Lo Spettro in Italian. It's dubbed into English, right? It's from
Yeah, I think
1963.
you sent me the link to that, didn't you?
I may have, yeah, and I've got the memory of a goldfish, so forgive me. But yeah, that's a nice ghost story, and had some kind of chilling moments. You could see other ghost movies that later ones had kind of nicked stuff from it as well. It's just the
Yeah.
dubbing. I can't stand dubbing, right? Unless it's a kung fu movie, I can put it up with it in a kung fu movie. But other than that, it annoys me. Um, but yeah, what's it? Doctor and B Movie Basner says she still needs to see The Shape of Water and Doctor Impossible. Give me the Invisible Man. Give me the Invisible Man with Claude Rains, but don't forget Universal went with Abbott and Costello and the Meat series. Yeah, I've still not seen any of them, but the original Invisible Man. See, he was my second choice actually, right? But I know that the sequels, the Invisible Man sequels, aren't very good, but the original, Even the Moon is Afraid of Me, it's just absolutely brilliant. And I was a bit gutted that when they remade the Invisible Man, that they didn't remake that one because he's an absolute monster. He takes out trains and everything. He kills loads of people, right? He's an absolute serial killer in that, the Claude Rains one. And the recent one, he was more of just a kind of creepy boyfriend stalker. So it had a sort of domestic violence subtext. I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
so I can't say from what people have said. That's valid as well. I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. I
Right.
want the old Invisible Man. I want him back. It's just a complete force of nature. Uh, B movie badness as well. The Night of the Living Dead 1990 is really good. Yeah, I like that. I liked how they changed the ending and Tony Todd and Tom Savini. I think it's Tom Savini that directed that one. Actually, I like that too. Actually, I do like it, and I think it's its own separate animal from the original. I know some people reviewed it at the time. Were like, why remake this movie? It's a masterpiece, and I think it's fine. I think it's a really good remake in its own in its own way. Doctor Impossible. Romero did a terrific horror film in the mid 1980s called Monkey Shines. Of course, Monkey Shines is brilliant. I love that, and I love the way it represents disability in a very realistic and positive way. Obviously, the idea of having a psychic link to this crazy monkey
Mhm.
is horror or science fiction, but the way that they represent the disability in that movie is just brilliant. Oh, you got the Ghost on DVD. See, I didn't know it was out on DVD. I would try to find it everywhere. Nah, but hey, you know, we're talking about you here, right? Right. How you feeling just now, BAQ? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you. Um, what would you say here? What are you most? I just can't speak tonight. What are you most put off with in horror films? You know, for example, bad acting, cliched storytelling, not enough gore.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm tired of these females running and falling. I'm just so sick of that shit. Like, you have legs, use the shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's coming after you. You have legs, use it. And yeah, that and they fall down, and then It's like, come on, let's move on from that. Okay, it was good
Yeah.
for the 70s and some of the 80s. Let's just move on from it. Or they going to see if they hear somebody outside, what is that? And they go look for it. Well, then you deserve to get your ass chopped into pieces then because you're going to go look for it. It's stuff
Yes.
like that that really pisses me off.
As Bill Hicks would say, we've lost the moron. We've lost them. Did I feel the earth get lighter? We've lost the moron. Right?
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just lazy writing, isn't it? Yeah, see when you, that I can see your point about being a bit annoyed that Sydney's not going to be in Scream 6 because she's a great character, but to be honest with you, in Scream 5 they gave her nothing to do. They gave her absolutely nothing to do, right? And she's part of the reason I want to see the movie, right? Because she's
that's
a
it. He's part of the reason why I keep watching Scream because of her.
yeah, because she's we've grew up with her.
Yeah,
Same with Laurie Strode. That's the great thing about these final girls is we've grown up with them, right?
yeah,
They're like James Bond or Superman, right?
yeah.
Because that's what they are. They are heroes. And that's what I love about the slasher genre is that the final girl is a feminist icon because they're resourceful, they're clever, they don't get killed, right? They
Right.
don't they don't just put out to any guy. I know that people say that's a cliche that they're virginal and all that jazz, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
they shouldn't
You know
have
what I
to.
wish? I wish Carrie was a final girl. I love Carrie. I really wish. Now, Carrie, the 70s now, not the new shit, the old stuff.
No, doesn't exist in
I
my
wish
eyes.
Carrie was a final girl. Oh, she was. That's my girl. I
She
really
kind of
wish.
was, kind of was though with that shock ending though.
Yeah, but yeah, she would have been if her mother didn't try to kill her, and then she
Yeah,
died in the fire and stuff like that. But I really wish that they could have made her like the final girl.
yeah. Well,
Guess it wasn't meant for her to be.
Carrie broke my mind as a child because I grew up when I grew up. I saw Grease at a very young age. That would mean my sister would love watching Grease. Right? It was just one of those movies. You sing all the songs and all that jazz. And I saw Carrie not too long after that, after just loving Grease, and there's John Travolta being an absolute horrible guy, right? And
Yeah.
that frightened me as a child more than anything that happened in the movie because all the other stuff I didn't understand, but John Travolta being mean, I just couldn't comprehend. It was like, wait a minute, why is he so mean,
Yeah, but he
right?
did a good job. He was a good job being a dick. He was.
Yeah, I know, but when you're a young child, you don't realize what a dick he is in Greece until you're older. You're like, yeah, you're actually a scumbag, right? But you just think he's a good dancer and he sings songs. That's it. And but
His
seeing him in
pelvic
Carrie,
action was legendary. Legendary pelvic action.
I know. Um, the but that it was the same with Mr. T. And I think I told you about this that when I saw Rocky 3 before the A Team came on the television, right? I saw Rocky 3 and Clubber Lang, that character, he just frightened me, right?
Yeah.
You know, right? That's him winning the match. That's when he wins. He's like,
Right.
right? And when he appeared on the A Team, I was like, everybody's like, oh, the A Team, you need to see this show, it's amazing. I was like, no, don't like him, don't like him. No, he's a bad man because you just, as a child, you couldn't separate the fictional character from the actor. I just thought it
Right.
was the same man. You know, I just thought, what? Now he's in the army. Well, I thought he was a boxer, right? Yeah, weird. Right, back to the comments here. Hollow Man, what did you think of that film? Worthy or not? Have you seen that
It was
one?
worthy. It was worthy. I like Hollow Man. I did. Kevin Bacon is my guy. He's wonderful. And yeah, and plus it was a little scene in there that I like when he was going invisible and his body was changing and it's like you kind of seen his balls moving around, but you didn't see his balls. It was just he was disappearing.
Um,
Let me tell you something.
oh,
Kevin Bacon was a freaky little invisible man because he would like just go into people like this woman's house and just watch her, and then he would squeeze like
Yeah.
like a girl breast, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like crazy. But I
Yeah.
like Hollow Man. It was worthy. I just didn't like Hollow Man 2. I think it came with a part 2. We're not even gonna talk about it. But yeah, Hollow
No.
Man movie. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it not got that song from Footloose? Let's hear
Invisible
it.
balls, yes.
Let's hear it for the balls. Let's hear it for my man. uh, what else we got here? Curly Girl. No Sydney. I ain't watching that. Yeah,
That's right.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, boycott. Absolute boycott. I don't know if Curly Girl, if you've seen Scream 6, but to be honest with you, it's a bit weak. The new final girl that they introduced in with five, losing count here. Scream 5, the new sort of final girl that they had, the lead character, she was quite a bad actor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Wasn't she?
agree.
She was a walking piece of cardboard. And they had Jasmine Savoy Brown, right? Who replaced Randy from, Randy being the film geek that would talk about all the tropes and cliches. They replaced him with Jasmine Savoy Brown. She was hilarious. Her character was brilliant. And then um and I'm not going to say anything, but she should have been pushed up to being the main character. I'm sorry, I was more entertained by her scenes than anything that was going on with the main plot line. But yeah, I'm not interested in Scream 6. I think that'll be the death. I think that'll be the
Yeah, I
death
think that's
knell.
it for me. It's a wrap for me on that. I'm not even being bothered with it. Scream 6. It's not worth it.
Kind of indicative as well that she's not going to reprise the role because she's not a majorly in demand actor, right? She's not A-list, so she must have had a look at that script and went, right, I ain't doing that. Right? She must have got a look at the script and went, right, this is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor Impossible says I nearly puffed myself to death there. I know. I went up in a puff of smoke.
Yeah. He said, just don't mention Carrie
Just
2.
all right.
We're not gonna mention Carrie 2. We're not even gonna mention the remakes either, because they're not even worth talking about. You
Even
know,
Carl,
it's crazy.
even Carly Girls losing count and all. Yeah, Sound of Violence. Love the Sound of Violence. Yeah, she's a great actor. I just want to see more of her in any film. She's also in Yellow Jackets as well, Curly Girl. The Jasmine Savoy Brown. You need to check that show out. It's amazing. The
Okay.
oh yeah, it's brilliant. And Scream. What was it?
Hello, Fever Dreamland Theater. How are you?
Hi Anthony, thanks for joining us, mate. To give you a thingy. Hold on. So you got. Could give him the spanner. Let's just waiting for this thing to cut up. Sorry about the silence here.
No worries.
Just all the chat. Just trying to see if I can give him the spanner. It's trying to catch up here. He's got it already. No worries. Right, where were we? I just that you kind of sucker punched me with that one. Well, I'm talking about the things in horror films that I'm more put off with. I don't know. Now move on. I can't think of anything. So sorry about this. Just
No
brains
worries.
just fried.
But
Is
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Horror for me, um, I'm just gonna be really honest. Horror for me, it really covers pain. You know what I'm saying? It covers my pain. Because I've lost my mom at a young age at 16. My brother was murdered 2020. My grandmother passed away in 20 this year, 2022. So me watching horror, I escape pain. It just takes me from my real life into that life. And that's why I'm so into horror, because it just takes me away from everything that I've been through, everything that I think of on a daily basis,
right.
because I think about that stuff constantly. And when I don't want to think about it, Halloween puts me in a happy place. Seasons of the autumn season put me in a happy place. Watching horror put me in a happy place. So horror Well, the people may think it's weird, but horror escapes me. Escapes me away from pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. It's nice that it has that kind of medicinal quality for you. I
yeah,
mean, I do feel that it does. It is a great form of escape, and to be honest, I fell out with horror for a while, and due to circumstances like you're saying, I don't know. I felt that watching violence on screen just really off-putting for a while, and I'm slowly getting my taste for it again. Right,
yeah.
see gory scenes and stuff, and people getting stabbed and all that kind of stuff. I for a short period, I was taking it too seriously. Like that's just wrong, right? I'm starting to turn
Yeah,
into one of those old fishwives, getting all
yeah.
het
You was
up about
being
nothing.
you was being approved. That's what you was doing. You was being approved.
Precisely, absolutely precisely. But right now, I'm just like, right, because that film, The Sadness, right? When I first watched that, I was disappointed that the ending wasn't wall to wall blood and gore, right? Because I think it was Lady Shasha, her review, she was comparing it to Brain Dead, and I know that Brain Dead had that ending with the lawnmower, and it's just zombies getting splattered everywhere, and it was just so much blood. And so I was geared up for this big finale where it's just right. You want to see zombies getting splattered everywhere, and I didn't
Right.
get that. That was my fault. That was my expectations. So I think I am getting a bit of a bloodlust now when I'm watching horror films, which I didn't have for a good while. And it's kind of the way I was when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I was like, right, this movie's boring. I want to see some brains getting splattered everywhere. That was what made it a good movie. Plenty of blood, plenty of guts
Yeah.
and gore, and I'm really getting that appetite again. It's nice, and I don't feel ashamed about it because it's only a movie, right? It's
Right.
only a movie, right? We're not sick, we're not perverse. We're just we're just going on a thrill ride. We're on a roller coaster, a ghost train. What's the harm? You
Right.
know, it's all a bit of fun. And Doctor Impossible, what do you think about Psycho 2, or for that matter, Psycho 3? Psycho 2 is a worthy sequel, and Psycho 3 has some good fright shocks, but not as sharp as Psycho 2. Psycho 2 and 3? Not that keen on them.
Say I just stopped at two. I could care less about three.
I need to give 3 a rewatch, but 2 was brilliant. I love 2.
Psycho 1 and 2 was those are my gems. I like them, but
Oh,
three, mm,
I
eh.
don't remember much about it. I remember seeing it once when I was about 8 or 9 or something. But Psycho 2, I've seen it maybe about 3 times, and it's just great that it allows you to empathise with Norman Bates. Right, you don't expect that. Even when you've seen the movie before, you watch it again, you're like, why are we starting to like this guy?
Yeah,
Right? I mean, we saw what he'd done in the first one, right? Right? We saw his evil, creepy face at
right.
the end, right? But we're starting to feel for him. You're like, what? Am I becoming a psycho? Right? Great.
He
It's
was a
this.
nut. Oh, he was a nut. He was a whack job. Like,
Oh yeah, he's such a pioneer in the psycho slasher character. When you think about it,
yeah.
that shower scene. I could not honestly tell you when I first saw that shower scene, but it's just one of those. It's one of those images that's just always been there. Weirdly,
Hmm.
like the Wizard of Oz and Mary Poppins. Couldn't tell you when I first saw those movies. And Psycho, for some reason, is one of those movies. Seen it on TV at a young age. I think. Can't
Yeah.
remember. It's just incredible. Absolutely blows my mind. What was I going to ask as well? What would
Yeah.
you say on his point? Right, this kind of leads into one of my questions. What is the best horror sequel and why?
Oh, what is the best horror sequel and why? Oh my goodness. Best horror sequel. Okay, I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna go classic with this. I'm gonna go current. To me, the best horror sequel, and I'm gonna pick two, just to be fair, is Insidious and The Conjuring.
Right, I haven't seen either of them. See, that's my kind of blind spot is modern horror. Anything like I don't know after maybe 2004 onwards, I'm a bit kind of. I haven't seen the Babadook. I haven't seen any of the Conjuring movies.
Yeah,
Seriously,
I'm gonna say with the Conjuring, uh, there's a lot of different universes with the Conjuring, but um, I'm gonna say more. I like Insidious. Insidious. Yeah, I want to go with more Insidious.
but the second ones to those films, Conjuring 2, Insidious 2,
Yeah.
do you necessarily have to see the originals to enjoy them, or
Well,
is
from what I read online, I think with the Conjuring universe, there's a certain order you have to watch them, which I didn't know that until later on. So there's a certain order you have to watch them in order for all to come together. But to me, it really doesn't make a difference. And I haven't tried it yet in that order, which I might try it not this weekend, probably next week. I'm gonna sit down and watch it in that order and see if it makes a difference. Because you know how sometimes they put out a movie and then you get another movie, but it's like a backstory to that movie, just like the Paranormal Activity.
yeah,
They do the current ones first, and then they backtrack to before.
yeah.
So,
I love Scream 2. Scream 2 was a good sequel, especially that opening scene with Jada Pinkett Smith, because it was a hard act to
oh,
follow. Scream was a brilliant, it was a shot in the arm to the slasher genre, right? And
yeah,
it was. I remember at the time, all the sort of the proper film critics were really starting to take horror seriously for once. And everybody was going, "Oh, Wes Craven, what a genius!" After decades of him being a complete scumbag, right? And I've got magazines up there from the 1980s where Nightmare on Elm Street is getting the worst reviews next to other films that you've completely forgot about from
right.
1984, and that's just for the reviewers are like, "This is horrible," and you're like, "It's not. It's brilliant." So Wes Craven, he went through a long period of being just second class in filmmaking in general, you know. And it took until Scream where it was like, yeah, this guy's a master filmmaker. This guy's a genius. And Scream 2 was the victory lap. He did another movie with those characters, and I think it's up there with the first one. I think it's a really good sequel. And that opening scene with Jada Pinkett, that was a
Yeah,
great opening. You know, yeah, I'd definitely go with Scream 2. Come to
okay.
think about
Starting to look spooky here. I think I'm kind of liking this because it's getting dark. So
it.
or you
Yeah,
can
you're actually giving me chills sitting there in the dark like that, right?
at least it goes with the whole thing that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I'm loving it. And what was I going to say here? Uh, have you got on the subject of Scream 2? Have you got a favorite horror movie, Final Girl? Out of the
Yeah, my
eh,
favorite. So listen, no doubt, Laurie Strode.
right?
Yeah, that's my favorite right there. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I know. I hope they don't mess her up in the next one. I mean, I
I
think I
hope
like
the
what.
next one come out. I hope it stops. I just want it to end already. It needs to end.
Yeah, yeah, they
It,
have to. Yeah, I mean that's what they're promising, but the horror movies are like rock and roll bands, aren't they? They say, "Oh, this is Kiss's final tour." Yeah, yeah. After the last final tour, right? That's what they're like, isn't it? It's like, yeah, this is the end of Leatherface. No, here he comes again,
yeah.
right? And and you're just like, you know, I think it was Friday the 13th was the first one to do that because I remember in the mid 80s seeing that poster, Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, the
Yes.
final chapter, right? And then it was like a few months later, I saw the box for Friday the 13th 5, the new beginning or what. I was like, come
Yeah.
on, if you're going to lie, at least wait a few years, right? No, they couldn't
Right.
wait to
Exactly.
they couldn't wait to get the next one out.
But I tell you one thing with Friday the 13th, the first one, I'm gonna say the first one, the second one, and a little bit of the third are my favorites. But I'm so freaking glad. I'm gonna say it, I'm so fucking glad that that face Jason is gone. I'm glad they got the hockey mask. That sack on his head, he looks so stupid running through the, running around like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, something has to give next time because they need to find something else. And when he found that hockey mask, he put it on. I said, there you go. Now my panties are wet because now you got the hockey mask. That's all.
I mean, the thing is, as well, wouldn't it have smelled of rotten potatoes? You're like, do you smell rotten potatoes? Right?
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
Sack and Jason had to go. I'm so glad that got rid of that. Like,
Yeah, it's not very imaginative. Is it not that there was a film in the 70s, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, but that was the mask for the killer in that as well. So yeah, it was a master stroke to get the hockey mask in there, right? Uh,
yeah.
but my personal favorite is 4 because the final chapter, because what they do is they give you a sort of greatest hits of all 3 at the beginning. They have this guy around a campfire, like, by the way, this is what happened, and you just see all the kill scenes from all the previous ones, and then we move on with the story, and it's got Crispin Glover doing that goofy dance that he does. That just kills me every time. But yeah, I'm with you with Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is just right. She's just an absolute. She's just a hero, and it was great. I remember in the '98 or whatever when they first brought her back in what was that H2O, and that was
Mhm.
great. It was great. I mean, it's I've not seen it in a long time, but I remember it was great to see her back finally. Even then, and but I like the new version of her. I like that she's still traumatized by Michael Myers, and
Yeah,
she's got a wee bit of that Sarah Connor attitude. And the new Chainsaw Massacre was trying to rip it off when they had Sally Hardesty being a
yeah,
Texas Ranger, and they just dropped the ball with that in
yeah.
comparison.
They did. They could have did something better with that, but they dropped. To me, if they dropped the ball on it.
Yeah, she was a total idiot, wasn't she? I mean, she wasn't.
Oh my
She wasn't
God!
that
First
clever.
of all, I was like, "Girl, what are you still? What's going on?"
She wasn't. She wasn't that clever to start with, so I could see there was continuity there, right? But at the same time, there was a bit that had me in stitches when she met Leatherface
Yeah.
and she confronted him, and she seemed really annoyed that Leatherface couldn't remember her. And I just thought I started to think what's going through his mind, right? Right, I
Right.
know, think like a killer, and Leatherface must have been going, hmm. Oh, you're talking about that? Oh, I killed your brother, right? You must be talking about that sandwich that I had in 1974, right? Yeah, that got really bad indigestion from that, right? I mean, what does she honestly expect?
Right.
Uh, but I don't know. I had some good fun with it. That chainsaw, that scene in the boogie bus, that big party bus, where I don't know. I think he had a chainsaw made out of Wolverine's claws, right? Because those people
Yeah,
just
he
turned
was
into.
just going through. I was like, Jesus Christ. But you know what irritates me about Texas Chainsaw, even in the 1974 version, is that stupid chainsaw dance that he does, spinning it
Oh,
around. It's like,
he just
what's his
wanted to be a
face?
ballerina.
Why? But
I
you
know,
know what? It made it to be. People imitate that a lot, and hey, it did what it had to do. It did what
but what with real chainsaws?
right.
The better idiots out there with real chainsaws have dropped it on their head. Like,
Ah, you know what?
oh, oh, I'm pure ignoring the chat here. But Anthony Perkins, according to Doctor Impossible, here was a great screenwriter. He wrote an Agatha Christie style thriller called The Last of Sheila with a very inventive ending. Never heard of that. I love Agatha Christie. Although some of the titles of her earlier books are rather questionable, and I won't get into that just now. Uh,
Yeah,
Curly Girl at the movies, they don't know how to stop with the sequels.
that's
Yeah,
true.
it's
That's
just
true.
money in it. It's our fault. We buy the tickets. As soon as if we stop buying them, giving them our money, then they'll stop. But that's kind of in it. But yeah, they don't know how to stop them. I mean, Friday the 13th, that just got beyond a joke, to be honest. Right? I mean, I cannot stand the one who goes to New York. As much as I was really hyped to see it, I think the majority of it, he was in a boat. If I'm wrong, I mean, he gets to Times Square eventually, like maybe for the last 15 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, and that's it. The whole movie was pumped on the fact that here we go, Jason takes Manhattan, brilliant, right?
Oh God!
And it's a total letdown. I mean, I do love the part where he punches the guy's head off on the top of the roof, right? I mean, the guy's. I mean, one thing Jason should have been doing, he should have went to Madison Square Garden and took on Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? With that right hook it had, amazing.
That whole Jason Takes Manhattan was garbage.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Impossible. Craven had a battle with Warner Brothers over Deadly Friend. It's always been a much maligned film, but it has Anne Ramsey from The Goonies, and she dies with a full body explosion. Correction on that one. She gets a basketball thrown at her face and her head explodes like a balloon. You've seen that one, Deadly Friend?
No, I haven't seen Deadly Friends. I'll put that on my list to watch.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a kind of Frankenstein thing. The guy's girlfriend dies and he wants to bring her back and have her replaced with a robot inside. And she goes crazy. She goes crazy and starts killing everybody, kind of thing. And it's a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, Anne Ramsey, who was the Ma Fratelli from the Goonies. What do you boys like, tongue? Yeah. The Goonies absolutely adore. She gets a good kill scene in it. It's ridiculous. Oh, there's the king. Hey, yo, at work, had to stop in here and see what's up. Well, we're on your favourite subject, my man. So if you get a wee break, pop a question in the chat and I'll try and answer it, right? With my good buddy here, Basic Autumnween Queen. And and also I've left a link at the top of the chat there, Corey. If you want to jump in there and connect to this great lady, I would really appreciate that. Same to everyone in the chat. Please connect to Basic Autumnween Queen. You will not regret it. Every day is Halloween on this channel, and the video that I've made specifically as the connection is her amazing commentary on The Howling. Right, I guarantee you that if you do not laugh through this, you have no funny bone. Your funny bone does not exist. You need to go and see a medical practitioner right away to have your funny bone reconnected, because this video is gut-bustingly hilarious. I guarantee you, right?
And that's my first time doing commentary, so I was like, if I'm gonna do commentary, I'm gonna do it on my favorite scene in The Howling, and that was my favorite scene. Like that right there was like what made me love werewolf movies, because I'm like, look how he's transforming. I mean, it was just ridiculous, but I was just being myself.
You have single-handedly ruined that movie for me forever, but in a good way. Every time I watch The Howling from now on, I'll hear your voice. Right. This is what you wanted. This is what
imitate me. I want to hear you say it. Thank you, King. And I'm gonna hit you back. Nice meeting you as well. Yes, I want to hear you, Terrence. I want to hear you imitate me when I was doing The Halloween. I want to hear.
I'm trying to think of some of the things that you say. Because I have watched it tons of times. It was something that I had a bad day at work. I'd stick it on and it would just take it away. It's just so hilarious.
Her name was Karen. I'm like, look, she's a Karen.
Yeah. I trusted you, Karen. And he's like, I'm giving you a piece of my mind. Oh, so funny. I can't wait to do more. You're going to do Friday the 13th part 2, is that right?
It's the sackhead Jason. Yeah, it's a part where he busted the window and he with the pitchfork and he falls.
Oh yeah.
I got something for that.
I cannot wait for that. Honestly, seriously, I can't think of a video I'm more anticipating than that right now at this moment. What was it saying? I was thinking about The Fury. Need to rewatch Deadly Friend, but it's not my favourite. People Under the Stairs. Oh, People Under the Stairs. I mean, I can't think of I can't think of many horror films that I would say are absolutely perfect. Doctor Impossible. Seriously, People Under the Stairs blew my socks off when I first saw it, and it still does. It holds up remarkably well in every way. You know.
Oh, every time I think of People Under the Stairs, I just break out into this laughter. So when I saw Dr. Impossible put People Under the Stairs was batshit crazy, it's like, to me, it was just,
It's
I just
that.
laughed every time.
It's the Papa character when he first appears with the big gimp suit on and the shotgun. You're just like, oh my, what in the world? And there's a bit in it that always kills me where Phil is climbing down the chimney and he's pumping shots into the chimney, and Phil's pretending that he's been shot, and he just looks over at the mama like, oh, he's just so delighted that he's finally shot. It's got that kind of almost Roadrunner element to it. That was the genius of Wes Craven. He could really scare you, and he could really make you laugh. He could do these amazing juggling acts, but it never felt like the movie had fell off the rails when he did it. You know?
Yeah.
Just People on the Stairs, just perfect. And I know that Jordan Peele is planning on. I don't know if he's going to direct. I don't think he's going to direct, but he's planning on remaking it. So he better, even someone as talented as him, still he needs to tread carefully. He needs to tread very carefully with that film, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you now. Nye says People Under the Stairs never scared me. I don't think it's terrifying, to be honest, but it's really exciting. It is just such an exciting.
It's funny. It's funny. But what you have to see, I don't know, have you seen Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? Not the remake with Katie Holmes, the original.
No.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie. That was a good movie for his time. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. It's a good movie for his time.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's very creepy because you got these little tiny things, these little monsters, and they just taunt this woman. Because first of all, she let them out when she wasn't supposed to, and they just taunt her until they get her. And it's like, it's really good. It's really.
So is it like
what Katie Holmes did because I don't like remakes, and they didn't do it justice. The little horror the little creatures look so fake in the new one. I didn't like that.
See, I think I've seen the poster for it. I didn't know it was a little creature movie, but like a kind of gremlin critters kind of thing.
It looks like a little scary thing, yeah.
I'm totally lost again. I've just totally lost my footing. I'm not one to be lost for words. What was I going to say? Where are we for the time now? So it's an hour and 18 minutes. How are you feeling just now?
I'm feeling pretty good. Good.
We did. Can't wait to come back and get all these 3x bots left my ass off. I know. It's just getting all these like sleazy bot things coming up, man. Right, I get you now, Corey. I'm like, yeah, right. Well, you need to check out his channel, by the way. King Need Gore. Have you heard of him?
Who?
King Need Gore in the chat there.
I think I've seen him on your channel a few times.
Oh, he did this whole series on disturbing cinema, and in fact, he did a whole series on all of the Halloween films.
Really?
And he really knocked it out of the park. I mean, I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to Michael Myers. I avoid the Halloween 4, 5, and 6. I just don't want to know. But I've watched Corey's videos and they've explained them to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know, what is this? Why am I getting all these horrible bots? It's just.
Well, they have nothing better to do. That's all.
Uh, right, Body Bags was another good John Carpenter film with Toby Hooper directing as well. Carpenter was good in it. Yeah, that's right. That was I think that was a Showtime like special sort of movie of the week type thing where it was an anthology. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a mixed bag. I liked the first story. I think maybe that was Toby Hooper that did it, where the guy's in an all night gas station. Those places, because I mean, many times after a nightclub or whatever, I'd go to one of them to get cigarettes and stuff, and they always really creepy places. And I think that short story did catch did capture that. That's the one that I remember really standing out.
Yeah, Body Bags is pretty good. Now there's one called, but this one I think Clive Barker did this one. It's called Book of Blood. That was really good.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that not like the name of his books as well? Is that not like his sort of collection of short stories, The Book of Blood? I think so.
Yeah.
But you were wanting to talk about. We were chatting earlier on today, and you said you were wanting to maybe talk about Amityville, like the
Amityville Horror. Okay, well, no, what I want to bring up about that was, Amityville. Like I was telling you earlier, I've always wondered, like, because Ron DeFeo, he died, he passed away, and he killed his family. So it's always this thing about him hearing the devil tell him somebody told him to shoot and kill his family. And I just think he was just batshit crazy. That's my thing. But was he crazy, or the house that was on the land, is the land like have bad juju, or is it haunted? I wonder about these things. And so I passed by that house one time in my life, and because I live in New York, it's in Long Island, so you could catch a train to get there. I passed by that house one time, and I was like, okay, I don't feel anything. It's nothing. It's just a house that they made a movie of. But the owner at that time, I wouldn't want to live there because those poor people couldn't get a break. Every time we turn around, somebody was taking a picture of the house and standing in front of it, going like this and like that. It was just ridiculous. And I was like, why would anybody want to live here and they can't even rest? Like,
I know. You want to kill your wife and you just can't because you've got all these spectators all the time. I mean,
it's constant, it's nonstop. Somebody's always in front of that house taking a picture. Somebody proposed to their girlfriend in front of the house. Like it's just they do ridiculous things, ridiculous. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that story always like intrigued me because I'm like, okay, we see the movie and he kills his family. Now what? Like it's just I don't know. It's just weird to me.
No, please continue. Sorry.
No, I just think he was nuts. I just think he was crazy. That's all. I don't think he had any spirits attacking him. I just think he was just crazy.
Well, I'm amazed that they didn't take it down, right? Knock it down, because we had a horrible serial killer in the 90s, if not in Scotland, in England. Fred West, Fred and Rosemary West. The pair of them.
No, my God, they burnt their house. They took that house down.
Oh yeah.
They had. Oh my God, the horrible things they've done. I read about them. I was like, what in the heck is going on here? Oh my God, they had bodies under the stoop, like under the house, and
yeah. It was weird because I remember when it was happening, because they had like every day there was a new body. It was like there's another body, there's another one, there's another one. It was like, whoa, I think she's still alive. I know he hung himself in prison, Fred West, but Rose West, she's still alive. Goodness.
I love true crime. That's another thing. I love true crime. I'm always intrigued by that. I'm just
no, there's nothing weird. Look, it's not. You can't be alone in that, because you go into a bookstore where you guys got Barnes and Nobles and things like that. You go to look at the crime section, right? right? It's not exactly starved of content, is it?
Right.
Yeah, so you're not alone, right? And I think it's healthy too, to be honest. But at the same time, I think if you read enough of these books, you're going to think everyone's a psychopath,
Yeah.
right? You know, I remember I
Like
used
the
to
lady
work.
who ate her husband for Thanksgiving dinner.
Wonder if he tasted like turkey. Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. But
I
yeah,
know.
I think she said he was either beating on her or cheating on her or something, and she got tired of him, and so he was beating on her, and she chopped him up and made him and cooked his, his food, cooked the arms and stuff, and she said he tasted savory to her, like
Oh, she didn't add any stuffing, any sort
I,
of nice sort of
I
sage.
guess I guess the stuffing was the fingers, maybe.
Ah, well, if he was a wife beater, oh, well, you
Well,
know.
that's what she said. Now we don't know what he. That's what she said. But I read about her. I have stories I'm going to be doing like towards like October of a lot of creepy crime stuff. So yeah, so that's one that really like. I'm like, she ate her husband. That's disgusting. Like I could never eat a human. Like disgusting.
Yeah. No, no. That's one of the things I like about horror movies as well, is it does sort of step over the line with taboo subjects, right? Cannibalism being one of them. And the thing is, I read a fascinating book about cannibalism, about real cannibalism, and it's been around for a long, long time. You know, a lot of people. There's the famous case in the 1970s with that rugby team that crashed in the Andes. You know, they went into that one, and they went into people out in the 1700s, like stranded out at sea, but they all ate
Yeah,
each other and stuff like that. Drew straws. There was this one. There was a story in it about these people in Russia who got so drunk on vodka that they started cannibalizing people. It was really nuts. And oh yeah, the siege in Leningrad. If you look that up, the siege in Leningrad. Oh,
yeah.
that's nasty, man. Nasty stuff. But yeah, and
It's like with a vampire. They like to bite people on the neck. I mean, the only thing the vampire could visit me 7 days every month. And I mean, I'll have all the blood they need. Then they could just take that. Like right. I mean, since they're like biting people on the neck. No, I like it.
uh,
It's spooky.
but right.
Sorry.
The thing is as well, no matter what Wes Craven, Toby Hooper, all these legendary horror directors or screenwriters can come up with,
Yeah.
nothing can compete with the real horror in the real world, right? So you could
True.
think of the most disturbing horror film, and there's something that happened historically, or maybe just in the last few years, that would trump that, that would
Yeah.
just absolutely turn your stomach more than anything. So you could say, oh, why are you watching these films? Well, it's true to life. It's real life. Even if it has ghosts and monsters or what have you, the sort of supernatural elements, the violent aspect to it, it
Yeah.
happens. And it's shameful that it does, because like I said, the siege of Leningrad, the My Lai massacre in Vietnam, all these, that the Abu Ghraib in Iraq, right? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I would rather be in a Saw movie. I'd rather be a victim in a Saw movie than be in Abu Ghraib in Iraq any day.
Right.
Seriously, right? And
Yeah.
it's just and that's what I like about it. It does it starts a conversation about these taboo subjects, right? Because you go,
Yeah.
well, cannibalism up until Silence of the Lambs came out, cannibalism in horror films were for the really nasty stuff like
Yeah.
Holocaust and Ferox and zombie movies, basically for stoned idiots to sit and watch. But then when Hannibal Lecter came on the scene, it was like, oh, Cannibalism, eh? Yeah, because he was the sophisticated cannibal, wasn't he? He would have your
Oh,
liver with
it's
fava beans.
Hannibal Lecter. He's oh god.
You not a fan?
He's yeah. I mean yeah. He's cool, but he's a slickster.
Oh yeah, he's a charmer, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because
Dr. Impossible said human flesh apparently tastes like pork. Just ask Lecter.
yeah, but it's not halal pork, so I don't think Allah would be happy with cannibalism. I don't know. I'll need to ask a Muslim. But what I was going to say is, yeah, the chat. I've just completely ignored the chat here. Who we got here? Right, so is it there? Body bags, right?
Harry, what is
Yeah.
that behind you?
What's that?
What is that behind you?
These are fake roses. They're
Oh,
plastic roses. I've been trying to come up with a new background, and I'm really struggling. Honestly, I've got all these requests to do, and I've not done one. I've just been a bit anxious this week, and yeah, I'm struggling. I'm always
well, that's
struggling.
okay. Do what you can. You know, don't. Oh, listen, this is fun to do. Always have fun with it. When it starts to feel like a job, stop and refresh. You just want to have fun with it. You know.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that's I'm a sort of, is it glass is half full. I just can't slow down. Right. I even when I smoked pot, I was just charged. Seriously. I get this weird feeling in my frontal lobes at night. It's like a kind of right, and I just
Yeah.
can't sleep. I don't know what it is. I used to take melatonin, which I can't get in this country because it's a controlled hormone, and that just saves my life. I can't buy it in this country. It's such a pain, and yeah, I don't sleep very well. I don't know
That's
why.
great. I never heard of that. We
What,
have a lot of
melatonin?
medicine here.
Mm, yeah. In 1995, you used to get it in health food stores, and then they decided this country's crazy, right? They want you to take Valium instead. And I don't like Valium because you can get addicted to that, and it's actually a big problem in this city that I live in, where people are
Wait a
just like,
minute. Wait. They want you to take Valium instead.
yep, that's it. The doctors. That's the difference between drug dealers and doctors in this country. Is the drug dealer will ask you how you doing. They'll ask you actually how you are, whereas the doctors are just like, here you go, just take one of these. F off. Seriously, it's weird.
Wow. But I tell you, if you was here, friend, you would have all the melatonin in the world. I'm telling you.
Oh, oh.
I could mail it to you, I would. But then they'll call me a drug dealer. So I
You
can't.
see, yeah, it's not a drug though. It's a hormone. I'm going to take a
Yeah.
sip of my Pepsi because my mouth's as dry as an Arab sock.
Yeah, but that's really weird that they don't have melatonin here because it's of a hormone. So, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And there's a strange thing I discovered that white people, right? You're gonna love this. Our pineal gland in our brains, right, has become calcified, right? You get these racist nitwits that come up with all these different reasons why black people and white people are different, right? But this
Yeah.
is fact. This is absolute fact. This one, because I mean, we all came from Africa, right? And eventually, when our pigment changed, our eye color changed because of our diet, the climate, and everything else over centuries, the pineal gland in our brain became calcified. So white people, this is true, right? We don't produce enough melatonin in our brains. I'm not joking. And I used to put it down to white guilt. This white guilt, all those years of colonialism and slavery. Yeah, we can't sleep at night. We can't sleep at night, right?
Yeah.
But no, I looked this up because I was interested in sleep deprivation, and yeah, melatonin. I need more of it. It's amazing. It just sorts me out. Anytime I leave the UK, melatonin, and obviously with all this craziness, I've not left the UK in a couple of years. Excuse me. But so back to the chat. Nice going off topic though.
It's fine.
But get watching Eyes of a Stranger, Terence. I love that film from 1981. Very enjoyable slasher. But you can always go back to the. Hold on, it just jumped there. What was it? Go back to the film and enjoy the atmosphere from that movie. Yeah, I love a good atmosphere in a horror film. I still find it hard watching Amityville 2, The Possession. I find that harder watched than all the other Amityville films. Not seen it. I've only seen the first Amityville. I mean, I'm a bit suspicious of all the different Amityville movies. I'm like, that is that a real one? Is that a genuine Amityville movie?
Which movie?
Amityville 2.
Oh, Amityville 2. You know, I watched it, but it's not a favorite. Hello, Ice
No.
Lord. It's not a favorite at all.
Yeah. I was. How you doing?
I just stick with.
How are you feeling now, Autumn Queen?
I'm feeling pretty good. I can go to 9:30.
9:30. So what's that? That'll be 2:30 here. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But anything you want to ask me? Anything about horror movies or just anything? Go for it. You know.
Yeah, I do want to ask you some questions. You know, when I first, okay, first of all, I want to say this to you. When I first came across your channel, I forget what video it was, but I didn't think you were real. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the video, it looked like in the 80s, like it was really retro. You had a suit on, you know, and you know what? You probably know what video I'm talking about. You had a suit on, and it was like really dark in the back. And I said, is he doing this on purpose? It looks like he's in the 80s. But then I see
One of the ones with my painting, my Canon Films painting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what, you know, that's what like intrigued me to your channel. And then I started watching more. And then when you did like the 30 days of horror and you did the Vincent Price
All right.
thing, I was like, okay, this dude is he's a real deal. So yeah,
Oh.
I love your
Oh
channel.
well, the check is in the mail. Honestly, thank you for that wonderful compliment. I truly appreciate it.
You did
I'm not
really
going
well. Good. You did good. So
yeah, well,
what you gonna do this year for Halloween?
well, I was thinking about just doing. I'm not going to do 31 Days of Horror because it'll put me in an early grave. I'm getting too old. As Danny Glover once said, I'm getting too old for this shit, right? Because that was just too much. And like I said, I can't stop myself. I've got to go. When I decide to do something, I would say I'm an absolutist, right? Which is an absolute pain in the arse for people. I know. When I decide something, I put my foot down. I'll just put my foot down. Right, that's
Yeah.
it. I'm doing it until obviously the car is going off the cliff and I can see that. And I'm right, okay, right. But yeah, I'm a very try or die sort of person. And
Okay.
that's the way I went full steam ahead into that, and it nearly killed me, especially because I couldn't get any time off work. The work wouldn't give me time off, and I was counting on it. So it was like I'd finish my work straight to do like 3 or 4 video shoots here, dress up like
Yeah.
Dracula, go in there and edit, have an argument with the missus. She's wanting me to do this, and I'm like, yeah, I've got all these videos to do. It's honestly a nightmare. And trying to get Halloween stuff, pumpkins. Couldn't get a pumpkin until like the 1st of October. I'd already shot a bunch of videos because with no decoration, couldn't get any decoration. Went into the shop nearby where normally you would get that stuff weeks in advance. The guy's like,
Yeah.
oh no. He's like, no, there's been some sort of hold up. I don't know if it's something to do with China sending over cheap stuff. But it was
You
just
know, there was I know what you're talking about because during the pandemic here, one year I was really bummed because Halloween was, you know, that's my shit. but it was like nothing was in the stores. We had to go look, and it's like, what was going on? But we was getting our issue was the shipping containers were out there in the water stuck. So a lot of stuff we didn't get because of those shipping containers were just out there with stuck, and they wasn't bringing in anything. But I expect that some good shit gonna happen this year for us. I'm telling you it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I've got a good fight from you. I think you're going to make Halloween extra special on YouTube. Really,
Oh,
I'm really pumped for that. I'm really pumped for, because you're counting down on Instagram. You're counting down the days, right? And that feels like a horror movie in itself, right?
yeah.
Like B Movie Badness's favorite movie, Madhouse, where it's counting down to this woman's birthday, right? It's like that, where you're just like, right, okay, it's going to get more insane. I feel that way. I'm honestly so psyched for Halloween this year. But what I was hoping to do, and I'll put this out to the guys in the chat if you want to DM me, leave me a comment, whatever you want, right? Is other YouTubers, horror tubers, right? Give me a couple of films, and I'll pick one that I've not seen, right? Out of
Yeah.
that lot, and I'll do them for, and I'll probably get to maybe 11. I think I can manage 11
Okay.
than 31. You know,
Have a Halloween party on your page.
Halloween party.
Yeah, you should invite like maybe like I don't know how many people you could have on your stream, but invite someone on your stream and we all dress up in costumes and be a Halloween party at Terrence
Okay.
McGuana's channel.
Yeah, we could do that. Can you argue while dressing as Dracula? How can you argue while dressed as Dracula? Yeah, with a Transylvanian accent, I suppose.
And, I want to tell Nye. Nye has always been a supporter of me as well. I love her. And
Yeah.
I love the way she laughs, like when she's talking about
Oh,
the film and that chuckle comes out. Oh, I be in here cracking up. I'm like, I just love her. She's been like a
yeah.
sweetheart. So thank you, Nye, for being so sweet to me. Because you guys rock, like for real. I love
I
you.
would love to see you both do a commentary. That would be cool.
Listen, I gotta listen. My trust for Nye right now is like this because we did the crackhead raccoon, and I'm still not trusting her yet. We did Raccoon, and I'm still not. My trust is now up to 75%. So she's
Oh,
gaining.
okay. That's nice.
She's gaining my trust again. Because I'm like, okay, what am I watching here? And I'm like, she is B movie badness. Okay. So I'm watching this Raccoon. Even my husband was like, what the fuck are you watching?
Oh, I know.
And I was like, wow. And the fact that it was supposed to be this happened in the Bronx, I believe, I was like, oh God, it's crazy. But
I just visualized that her backyard, where she lives, is
yeah,
that well from The Ring,
yeah.
right? That ring, and she just puts the bucket down and just brings up all these toxic weirdo DVDs. That's what I just imagine, right? It's just like all that sort of mist comes out. And she just brings out these weird DVDs from the center of the earth, right? That no one's ever seen in their life. That's a true story. I believe that's a true story. Sorry,
I
Nye.
know people here are gonna kill me. I know they're gonna get on me for this. But you know what movie I hate from the 80s? It's The Stuff.
Oh, that's another sweaty palm. Oh,
I hate
it's not a scary film. It's more of a comedy than anything.
right. And I just don't like it. I hate it. But people swear by it. Oh my God, it's the best movie ever. And I'm like, no, it's not. But I don't say too much because I don't like jumping on me. But I will go back and forth. But I don't got time to be arguing with nobody. So I'm sorry if I stepped on your toes, whoever likes the stuff. But I don't like it.
No, that's perfect. I mean, I saw it when I was like this. When so I don't think I've seen it straight. I don't think I've ever seen it straight. So I will need to give it a rewatch. But yeah, it's got a nice place in my heart. I love the satire about it, about advertising and things like that. You know,
Yeah.
and
Look at Nye. I love the stuff.
yeah. But she likes some really goofy stuff anyway, right? I mean, generally, but the
Food of the Gods.
Food of the Gods.
Yes. Have you watched that?
No, that's the one they've got the ginormous chicken in it, isn't they?
The ginormous rats and stuff like that. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what a ginormous chicken breast would taste like. It'd be really strange.
And
Sorry.
another one that creeps me out to this day. I have to, if for me to watch it, I can't eat any. I can't eat spaghetti for a week, and it's Squirm.
Oh, Squirm.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Oh,
I mentioned that to Rainbow Fright in on the Spirits and Screams when she appeared on it. The box cover, the video box cover for that. I'll send it to you later, right? That the UK one, because the UK one's probably different from the American one, but the video box
okay.
cover, I seen that in a shop as a in a store when I was a kid, and it put me off going for a shower because the woman on the box is like, ah, and there's all these worms
Oh,
coming out of the shower head, and I just every time I looked
yes.
at the shower head, I was just like, there's these worms are going to come out of there, and they're going
Oh,
to, you know.
I'm
Never
trying.
mind logic. Logic
That
just doesn't
movie,
exist.
it's hard. It's a good movie, but oh my god, I
Is it?
can't eat spaghetti for a week.
I still haven't seen it. I'll need to give it a watch. I
It's
do.
pretty good.
I do like those
Yeah,
kind of.
King of the Gods is a fun movie. B movie madness. Nah, it is a fun movie. I am Lord said. I'm the Ice Lord said the stuff just reminds him of his childhood. Yeah, yeah.
There was a
I can see
gentleman.
that.
I think he's gone now. But earlier on, Matthew Binney VHS. I think he subbed to you a few weeks ago. Actually, he's got a video on Food of the Gods too. Have you seen the second one?
No. When I realized they made a second one, I didn't want to put myself through it, and I didn't watch it.
Right. Well, you should check out his video on it, right? Because I think he just shows you the best scene in the film, where there's people in this sort of leisure centre swimming pool, right, where they've got all those sort of steps up to the springboards where you can dive in and all that, and
Yeah.
they're being chased around this swimming baths with these giant rats, right? And it's quite funny. You need to see this video. I mean, it makes me want to see the film because of this scene with the giant rats that are fighting people. Yeah, they look
Yeah.
terrible. They look awful, but it looks very, very entertaining. Just when you're talking about that particular movie, but that's what I love about B movies is that they're so unexpected. They could just completely change course at any moment. You know, this like it doesn't have to really follow logic or anything like that, and I love that. I'm bored with cliches and tropes
Yeah.
that like you were saying about the slasher victim that falls over a shoe, and you're just like, right, die already, right? Bored because it's boring. You want to be surprised. You want to be because you and I we've watched a lot of horror films, so we're well
Yeah.
educated in these cliches. And then when you get these boring things come on, you just fall asleep, you just zone out. But yeah, a good B movie does that. It just goes, no, we're just going right off the rails here and jumping.
Right.
We're jumping 12 sharks. Why not? Right?
Right.
I love that about them. But anything else you want to talk about? I'm having a great
I want to ask you. Okay, so have you ever been to the States?
Nope, never in my life.
No. Maybe you need to make a visit to the States around Halloween time. That'll be really cool for you. And also, I want to know, do they have like how many stores in your area have like Halloween decor and stuff like that?
Only in the weeks running up to it. I would say under normal circumstances,
Yeah.
probably the first week in September, right?
Yeah.
But this 2021, it was the 1st of October. It was really annoying.
Wow.
And especially because that was the time I was needing it. I was really needing those those trinkets and objects. Honestly, I would have killed someone and skinned them to get a skeleton. I was getting that desperate, you know. But that would have been too much effort. But yeah, we don't have any particular stores. Like right now, we can't get anything. And I've seen your videos, and I'm so jealous when it's like, oh, check out all these cool things. I mean,
Yeah.
I could send away for them, but that just cost a fortune, you know.
Postal, y'all shipping is expensive.
Yeah, I know. And but yeah, so that's my plan. It's just to get other horror tubers to recommend movies. All the movies I've not seen. That's what I want to have. I really want, and anything that really scary, disturbing, go for it. Right? Stuff that I've not seen. So if you're going, oh well, why don't you do this one? I will tell you I've seen that one. Give me something I've not seen. So I'll have to kind of confer with you to get to that point. Right? I really want. I'm being very selfish here. I really want to have a good Halloween this year and see a bunch of horrors.
You will. You will.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe you will.
Last year was a nightmare. It was a
it was kind of weird last year because when nothing was really out, and then when stuff was coming in, it was like getting it after Halloween, and it was like, oh, come on, Irie. But my house looked like Halloween every day. I still have up all my decor, so probably this year I put some pictures up on my Instagram channel page, but this year I'm going to do a whole walkthrough of my living room, and you can see my Halloween stuff. My house is Halloween 365.
brilliant. No, and you should be proud of it. I think it's great. You know, it's such you know, it's much better than these people that decorate their house to be Christmas every day. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would drive me nuts. Honestly, I used to love Christmas as a child, but now I just roll my eyes when it comes around. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Christmas. And it's basically because it's to me Christmas is not cheery to me. It's sadness. But my husband last year, he went through some health things and he wanted a Christmas tree. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna deny you of that. So we had a Christmas tree up, but my house was still decorated for Halloween. So we had both of both worlds.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, excellent. Do you like that movie, Nightmare Before Christmas?
You know what? I just saw it last year, so yes, I do like it. Because I thought it was for kids, you know what I'm saying? So someone told me just watch it, and I did. But one movie, and I know I'm probably gonna get cussed about this, that I can't stand as well. I can't stand Hocus Pocus.
I've never watched it. I only just saw the Bette Midler version of I Put a Spell on You, and that was enough for me. I was like, right, I'm never watching that. I much prefer Screaming Jay Hawkins. I put a spell on you.
Oh yes, that's
right.
You know what? That's the king.
Yeah.
Listen, that song terrified me as a kid.
Oh yeah, I loved how he really pushed that sort of that image. They must. I mean, they must have really scared a lot of dumb white people. Right? You know, they must have been like, "Oh, look at this guy with a bone in his nose and all that." And brilliant. I love watching his performances.
He had the voice for that song.
Oh, definitely, absolutely perfect. And
there's a lot of remakes of that song, and I'm like, just give it up. Let him have it. That's him. That's for him.
Yeah, I think I heard Brian Ferry do a cover of it. I put a spell on you. And you're like, go away, right? Right?
Yeah.
Who put him up to that? Right? Did he lose a bet? He must have lost a bet to cover that song.
He lost a bet.
Yeah, and we all lose. Here's the thing I meant to ask as well. And so in Halloween Ends, right? They had Michael Myers stare out of his sister's bedroom window blankly at the end, and it seemed to hint at something supernatural. What do you think? What do you think that's all about?
I think they are, because if you watch, well, I know you have. We've watched Michael Myers fall off of things, get killed, get ran over, all types of stuff. We've seen him get into a situation where he should have died. And I think that right there is an indication of he he is supernatural. He, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think. He's a supernatural being. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And staring out of his sister's window is it's like it's just saying like I'm there. I'm here, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But the last movie he did, Michael Myers was so brutal. Jesus Christ! Did you see
Yeah.
that fire scene? My goodness, the one he did with the firemen. That
Oh yeah,
scene.
when he's got them all
Oh,
picking them up and all that stuff. That was great. I was having a really good time, to be honest.
that was a brutal movie, and it actually got some complaints. It did. It got some complaints about it, but as he was getting, beat up in the street, it's like he can't be stopped. So it's going to take what it's going to take. It's going to take for my girl Jamie Lee Curtis. It's going to take for her to die to kill Michael off. She has to die in order for Michael Myers to die because if she doesn't die, he's going to keep coming back and keep coming
Yeah.
back. So I think when it's Halloween ends, she's going to have to die, and that's how Michael Myers has to die because they're connected. You get what
Somehow.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're connected.
Because they're not brother and sister in this one, right? And I'm
So,
glad that they ditched that. I thought that was lazy, but yeah, I like that. I think that might be the way to go. Do you think she'll make that sacrifice for the good of Haddonfield?
yes, I
Yeah.
think she's gonna make that sacrifice, and so she's tired, she's sick of it. She's been doing this for too long, and the way this has to stop is that, and it's like they both have an infatuation with each other. He's
Mhm.
infatuated with her, she's infatuated with him because she wants him dead, but he's not dying. So, in order for Michael Myers to die, Laurie Strode is gonna have to die.
Yeah, because he's been on her since the beginning,
Yeah,
right? When she was walking to school, he was out the window at the classroom,
yeah,
and I love that. I love that they never really explained that, but then obviously the Halloween 2, they decided to come up with that sort of just make them related thing, which no, I've never liked that. I like
yeah.
I like the mystery of Michael Myers. That's why I go to that character for over all the other slashers is because he has this unanswerable kind of question. It's like I like stories with a bit of mystery. I don't like everything to be explained to me. Right? Oh,
Yeah.
here we go back again. We have more cheap sex. Oh, good. Like
Anybody who wants, we have more cheap sex. No, honey, nobody's thinking about cheap
yeah, I know. Can't beat it. Can't beat a bit of cheap. That sounds like I'm away with
Listen, cheap sex, you're not gonna have any balls afterwards. Everything's
oh,
gonna fall off.
but yeah, I think I've had another horror. I'm sure I had another horror question. Okay,
Yeah, do another horror question.
sure I had loads of others. Why? Eh, I think we've exhausted them all. Is there any is there any horror movie directors that you would like to see come out of retirement? They're still alive, obviously.
That's in retirement to come out of retirement.
I've got some suggestions to get your.
Okay.
I've got John Carpenter, Peter Jackson, Sam Raimi, Bernard Rose, Clive Barker, Tom Holland, who did Fright Night and Child's
Right.
Play, and William Crane, who did Blackula.
Okay. John Carpenter.
Yeah,
He's
me
one.
too.
John Carpenter. And then after him, Clive Barker.
Yeah. John Carpenter was always he kind of changed the game a few times. Halloween and The Thing, right? Are just
Oh,
absolutely magnificent, aren't they? And I like someone was talking about how The Thing is all men in the film. The whole cast is male. I like that. And it doesn't always have to be diverse that way between male and female in films. Another one I like is The Descent. with the women in the cave.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's fine. I'm fine. I like that too. I think it's kind of good when it's just all one sort of unique group of people.
yeah.
Sometimes,
That was pretty
right?
good. That was pretty good.
Oh, here we go. Anthony's got a question.
Okay.
Which horror franchise would you say just right? Which horror franchise would you say should be left alone? No more sequels, reboots, prequels. Just let it die. I think you said that earlier though with Scream, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I think for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think. I mean, I had no problem with the
No more Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Please, please let it go.
Yeah, I know. I enjoyed that recent one because my expectations were non-existent. Right? I would
Yeah.
say it's one of the. It may actually be the best of all the sequels because it was having fun with it, whereas a lot of them are really boring. I like the remake. The remake was fine. I can't remember anything that happened in it, but yeah,
Have you
Scream.
seen the
Yeah,
movie X?
I haven't yet. I know. I need to get on
I'm gonna
that.
say this. It's a porn version, basically, with old people. It's a porno version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just with two old people and the rest of the cast. That's what it reminds me of. Because when you're gonna get that feel when you watch it. When you watch X, it's gonna give you the feeling of another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but with pornography and two two crazy ass old people. So that's the feeling it gives you.
Cool.
Yeah,
No,
that's the feeling. I
I've
didn't
heard
pay
mixed.
$20 for it, but I did see it. I had watched it for free, but yeah, it was in the movie theaters, and I'm not paying $20 for that because it wasn't worth $20. But it was an okay movie to see.
B movie badness. Nah, she agrees with you. She really enjoyed it. Well, or she thought it was okay. I suppose if that's in agreement with you, Autumn Queen. The
Yeah.
one slasher film that I love that I only saw a few years ago for the first time is The Funhouse from 1981, 82.
Mhm.
Toby Hooper. It's all set in a sort of what is it? A kind of carnival.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun because it is a traditional slasher film, but it has a lot of humour, and I like that about Toby Hooper. He tends to bring a little bit of dark humour into his films, right? Even
Yeah.
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre had some of that. Yeah, Anthony's with me. Funhouse is a hidden gem. There's a scene in it where the masked Frankenstein character goes with this prostitute in it. Oh, it's just so funny. It is the probably one of the funniest things I've seen in a horror movie. The scene between this Frankenstein character and this prostitute, because what happens is he's not much of a goer. This character, right?
Yeah.
He 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 doesn't last very long, right? And and his the prostitute is just ridiculing him, right? I mean, she's got her money. She doesn't need to ridicule the customer, right? But she does anyway. And then just see what happens next. It is just
Right.
so funny. It's
I
just
saw
funny.
you actually pay money to go see X. Oh my God. I was
What would
not
you?
paying for that.
Why not? Is it not worth it?
It's not to me, okay, because movie theaters here cost $20. And
Yeah, same here.
it wasn't worth $20. It was maybe if they would have streamed it, like have it in the movie theaters and streamed it onto like a streaming app or something for free, then yeah. But because I have a Fire Stick, I saw it anyway for free. I didn't pay for it. It just wasn't worth $20 to me at all. It was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre meet porn without Leatherface. It was just two old people that was batshit crazy in a house that
Mm.
looks like it came from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre era, and these horny porno people
Yeah,
in the barn doing God knows what. It was just like it was like, let's see if we can fix this up. Let's take Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that whole type of feel, and put it with a pornography movie, and this is what you get.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I'm grateful. I'm
two
grateful.
old people having sex. That was the most. Oh my god!
Okay.
It was like watching skeletons getting busy, and he didn't want to have sex with her because if he would have had sex, his heart was weak. But he didn't want to do it because he was his heart was weak. So what if he would have had a heart attack? But homegirl was like, I want it. I've been waiting. I want it. So the old lady was like, she wanted them cobwebs clean. Okay, she said, the cobwebs gotta go. I want it. You want to give it? Well, he ended up having a heart attack anyway, but not with sex. He had because the girl scared the shit out of him. He got
Yeah.
scared to death. So that's how he had a heart attack. But yeah, yeah. That
Well, I'm
see,
grateful.
that was super gross. It was. It was nasty.
I'm grateful that Leatherface isn't in it. You know, I don't think I could stand watching him getting jiggy with it.
Oh God.
You know,
Leatherface,
he-
no type of loving from nobody. He don't. Maybe he would stay that way for real.
I know. It's kind of interesting, really. That like, and that scene was super gross. Awesome, right? I need to see this now. I need to see this super gross scene. Get a takeaway. You know, put myself to the test. Can I eat while watching X? Yeah. What would be the most off-putting food? What couldn't you eat while watching this movie? And I'll test myself.
Which one?
X.
Oh, you can eat while watching it. It's not. It's not. It's not gonna gross you out. But the old people having sex, it was like two skeletons rubbing their bones together. It was just like,
Okay.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
look like supermodels then. The Well, Mr. Robin Lover, welcome aboard, sir. Terence, I just got back from seeing all these bloody things. Top Gun Maverick, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I
See,
heard that was pretty good.
yeah, see, I'm not much of a fan of Top Gun, to be honest. I love the soundtrack, and that's about it. So I'm not really pumped for it. I just see it as a kind of
I think my best Tom Cruise movie, when he played in War of the Worlds.
all right. Still
I,
not
I, I
seen
like
that.
I like when he's in stuff like that.
Interview with the Vampire. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire. Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet you loved Antonio Banderas in that. I bet he looked sexy, didn't he? I mean, I'm not going to deny it. Eh? Old Antonio, he was one
Yeah,
sexy vampire.
yeah. I mean, that's it. Even Brad Pitt, you know, Antonio Banderas and you know, Tom Cruise, they made handsome vampires. Yes, they was handsome vampires.
Yeah, I'm also with Anthony there. Cruz, Rain Man. See, that's the thing. Dustin Hoffman got all the praise because he got the more show-off performance in Rain Man, but it's Tom Cruise that really does all the heavy lifting. His character has the actual arc throughout the story. I think that's Tom Cruise's best acting actually in Rain Man, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of the interview with the V, a total Irish horror classic. I'm so proud of Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, that's right, because it was directed by Neil Jordan. I love Neil Jordan. I mean, the Crying Games is an absolute classic in my eyes. Pretty good in Legend. Oh God, Legend is brilliant. I'm sorry, that is people don't give
Yeah,
Legend
he was
enough
really
praise.
good in Legend. But let me tell you, listen, the reason why I watched Legend, oh my God, Tim Curry as that demon, that devil. I didn't know that was him. I thought that was a black dude in a costume. And then when I found out it was Tim Curry, I was like, what? You know, like, what?
See,
Yeah,
when
Legend,
I
I
was
forgot all about Legend. Thank you for reminding me. That was a good one.
Yeah, I love Legend as well. See, when I was a child, they had the standee. You know, when they bring out a new movie, they put these cardboard standees outside the
Yeah,
cinema or in the video store. You had a giant standee of that demon character from Legend, and I was just mesmerised. And see, it's the makeup effects for that.
yeah,
Unreal to this day, just unreal. I must have took for
yeah.
I don't know. I'll need to look that up, but that must have took ages for him to get made up that way. Unbelievable.
In one of my get to know me videos that I did when I was first doing this, first on my channel, somebody asked me, did I like if I could get busy with a would I get busy with a vampire or a werewolf? And I was like, well, it would have to be with a werewolf because I don't want a cold penis inside of me at all. I don't want to be doing anything with a cold, dead penis. You know, but vampires are very sexual. Why are they so sexual? They love, they love sex. They very like, I don't know, what's horny all the time.
Yeah.
But
It must
werewolves are very hot blooded, so I would prefer a werewolf. But I
any
just,
particular any particular screen werewolf gets your heart to go pit a pat?
you know the answer to that one already.
The Howling?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the answer to that one already. So it's the howling. The howling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I've always had a thing for bad women in films, right? Not in real
Yeah.
life, right? I don't want to run away with some serial killer women, right? But bad women in films, they've always been my fantasy dream women.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah, weirdly. Like even on TV shows like Buck Rogers in the 25th century,
Yeah.
Princess Ardala, I love her. I'd run away with her in a heartbeat,
A
right?
lot of women like that serial killer, Richard Ramirez.
Mm.
He's like a devil. And they
Oh,
are
he's evil.
I mean, women were like falling all over him. First of all, he kills people. What do you want somebody that kills
He
people? I
raped
don't.
them as well. He was this
Yeah,
horrible,
but
horrible
yeah,
man.
when he was in court, he had so many fans, women fans that wanted to marry him, all kinds of stuff. They was there for him during his trial. I was like, these women are nuts, absolutely nuts.
Absolutely, absolutely insane. Same with Tim. What's the other one? Ted Bundy as well. He had his groupies as well.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like,
ridiculous, isn't
really?
it?
Ted Bundy? Oh my goodness.
I know, just horrible, sick human beings. But I would probably plump for the vampires. I would go for. I'm trying to think of a screen vampire woman I would go with. I don't know. There's. My mind's drawn a blank right now.
Yeah.
Which is strange. But yeah, I think I would go with a vampire. Definitely.
Mm.
All that hair, you know, that hair would be off-putting. Even if it was Michelle Pfeiffer at the end of Wolf, right? When you don't
Oh,
really get
yeah.
you don't really get to see her fully turn into a wolf. I bet she'd be a sexy wolf. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, that movie was something else. Oh my God, I just love that movie.
I love Wolf too. It was very vintage, wasn't it?
Yes.
It had that kind of. I love the score to it. It's got this kind of vintage vibe to it, and I love when Jack Nicholson is fighting with James Spader. I need to rewatch
Yeah.
it. I love Wolf.
I love
Um,
how she was running up the steps. That shit was hilarious to me. How she was running up the steps to catch his wife with that guy. I was like, wow.
yeah, no, I'm with Mr. Robin Lover here. Hollywood has a fetish for Bundy, and casting all these handsome men as him for me, it's fucked up. Even though, like the killer in Copycat, he was handsome. Yeah, he was, and it's amazing how many different versions of that story we've been told. I mean, the case was in the 70s, and we've had like three major ones I can think of. The Deliberate Stranger in the 80s with Mark Harmon. That's
Yeah.
that's probably my favourite one because that doesn't really go into the violence. It just sort of fades to black whenever he captures a woman. I love that one. I thought that was brilliant. But there's some other ones that are just a bit, right? And yeah, just I tend to think with serial killers, they love attention. Like Richard Ramirez, I mean,
Yeah,
he wanted the notoriety, from what I understand, and they're given it by the media. And
yeah,
I think that was what was so good about Natural Born Killers when that came out. I know it got hated for wrong reasons, but that movie satirized the media and how the media promotes these characters to celebrity status, right? Charles Manson, Ted Bundy, all these characters, they're put up on pedestals, and that's exactly their egos, their narcissism. It just feeds right into
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Mental. We've got other comments there. Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Robin Lover said, so is the big horror news that Nev Campbell has left the Scream franchise. They gotta bring back Rose McGowan. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, listen, she leaves. I don't think they're gonna bring back the other person, but when she go, I'm done with it. I'm not wasting my time. So that is the big news that she left the series, but I'm not watching it.
Oh,
And I
thank
think
you,
that
Nye.
it's gonna flop. I think
God bless you.
flop. I think it's gonna flop.
Well, Nye sending out big love, saying she's really enjoying us two together. Excellent. We've been a great team. I've had a brilliant time. I'm all sitting talking about movies, right? That
He's
is
my
just.
buddy. He's my buddy here. So
Oh,
I might come over and take over his channel. You just never know.
oh, feel free. Honestly, I've got like 12 reviews to do. You can come do them for me. You know, some days I wish that the elves and the shoemaker was a true story. You know, that I would
Yeah.
just fall asleep and all these little guys would come and shoot all my videos for me and edit them all. That would be brilliant. And but yeah, you are late to the party. We did have a bit of discussion about Nev Campbell, but Rose McGowan, did she not get trapped in in the garage door? Is that not what happened to her in the first one? I'm sure she got killed, but that's the thing. It doesn't matter. You can if you can bring back Freddy countless times, you can bring back anyone, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
How do you feel about Winnie the Pooh, the horror version of Winnie the Pooh?
I don't know. Winnie the Pooh doesn't scare me. Tigger, give Tigger a knife. Then we can talk.
When I saw, I saw Nye posted on Instagram, and I'm like, is this really real? That Winnie the Pooh is gonna be a slasher, and and I'm like, why? Why do him like that? If anything, I would say Peter Pan could be a horror person, because Peter Pan. But what is the story about Peter Pan? Is Peter Pan? What is the story about him? Because I heard some fucked up stories about Peter Pan back in the day.
Well, I don't know if G.M. Barry, who's a Scottish guy, I don't know if there's something creepy about him. I think there's something dodgy about him. I know they made the film about him. Johnny Depp played him, Finding Neverland. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think Peter Pan would be a better slasher. You know, he flies around like a witch. He has a creepy shadow that moves on its own, like Dracula, and he's away with the fairies,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, there are elements to that story that are a bit creepy. Yeah, I'd like to see a slasher Peter Pan.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can
know if
see Peter Pan being more of a slasher than Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is cute, and he's lovable. Why make him into a horror character? I think that's horrible.
right. Oh no, because the
Yes, I've
characters have
seen
a
the movie Elves. Oh my God, it is horrible. That is a terrible movie now. I've seen it.
elves. Not seen it. One that I want to revisit that I loved as a kid was The Gate. You ever seen The Gate?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, the effects in that were brilliant. I remember
Yeah.
that as a kid. I loved that movie so much. Uh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen scene from Elves with Grizzly Adams. All right, Grizzly Adams, the actor, the lead actor from
Um,
Grizzly Adams.
have you
Seeing
seen
that?
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
I've not seen any of them. The Silent Night, Deadly Night, Garbage Day. I've not seen
Yeah.
any of those movies.
Oh man, oh man, yeah. I'm gonna save that one for my little my Creepmas series. I'm gonna save that. But
Creepmas. Okay, I like that.
yeah, I oh my God, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Just when you think Santa Claus can't get any crazier.
Well, for me, it's the Tales from the Crypt pilot episode. That one where the dude from Darkman, the actor, can't remember his name,
Yeah.
and he's stalking the woman in the house. Tales from
Black
the Crypt.
Christmas.
I've still not seen Black Christmas either. I'm such a terrible.
We got a lot of movies to catch up with here, so.
I've not seen Krampus. I want to see that Krampus. That's supposed
Krampus,
to be decent.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, that I like that Santa Claus in that one, the Tales from the Crypt episode. But yeah, really, any other topics you'd like to bring up? Any questions or anything like that? Feel free, go for it.
Okay. Well, Nas said they remaking Silent Night. You know they're remaking Silent Night. I did not know that. I do know that it's gonna be an HBO series. I think an HBO series called Welcome to Derry, and it's gonna be about the clown, how he became
Yeah,
that. I know they're doing that, but I did not know they're gonna have a remake. Oh my God! You guys know how I feel about remakes. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what they do because if they mess this up, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get on YouTube and I'm gonna blast the hell out of them. You know, I could be really, really raw, Terry.
go for it.
I'm gonna blast them. But it's 9:51 and it is my time to go. I don't want to go, but I have to go.
No, well, do you know what? It's been an absolute honour to have you on the live tonight. BAQ, you're an absolute brilliant person, and honestly love chatting with you. And anytime I mean this was convenient for you, you know, but and anytime you want to go for it, and it's convenient for both of us, let's do it. You
Yeah,
know,
you can't get rid of me that easy, buddy. I'm here.
yeah, I'll need to come up with more questions. I didn't realise I would spend all those. Those would always get used up. But I just want to send out my gratitude to everybody in the chat as well. Everybody at home watching. Thank you so much for. I mean, that's 2.5 hours almost, and it's been brilliant. Thank you for contributing, and I'll come by and show my love to all your channels as well, right? Obviously, that's just that's the nature of the beast, you know. But I'm really rubbish at goodbyes.
Yeah, no, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. We don't say goodbye.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Catch you later, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a terrific evening. All right. Good night.
All right. Have a good night.